If you like this video, click like. If you want to continue to follow our adventure, hit subscribe. Your support would be greatly appreciated. Hello, Lost on the Road subscribers and followers. Well, I had a problem with the water pump in our camper the other day. And it got me to thinking about this video. I mean, it just stopped working. And I didn't know anything about the pump. So I decided to tear into it. My grandpa always had this philosophy that if it's broke, you can't break it any worse. So in my entire life, if something's been broke, I would get the tools out and tear it apart. If I broke it worse, well, okay, I broke it worse. What's the it wasn't working before, so it's still not working. So my grandpa was a very handy person, and he taught me a lot about equipment. And so I tore open this pump, and it was a real simple fix once I got into it and understood what was going on. The pressure switch, very simple design. As the water increases, the water pushes down on the diaphragm and literally just pushes down on a button. Well, that button had gotten some corrosion around it and it was sticking. I just played with it until it broke that corrosion apart. And squirted some alcohol in there, kind of clean it up. Works great. I don't want to sugarcoat things. The reality is I believe that you need to have some basic understanding of your equipment before taking out on this adventure. I told you Dad works at a RV campground, paid campground, and he kind of manages the place. I think he's retiring now. I think he's handing it off to someone else. But he tells stories regularly where people come in, plug up, and say to him, your electric isn't working. And so he'll go out there and test his electric. Sure enough, it's working, and find out that there's something wrong inside the camper. And they'll argue with him. No, it can't be the camper. It's brand new. Well. And he will show them. In one example, he told me that, he was messing around in there, and sure enough, all these wires were burnt. So he had to show this fella that the wires on his brand new camper were all burnt up. Which is interesting because this fella who owned the camper relied on someone else to take care of his problem. What if that someone else hadn't have been there? Then what would he have done? What if he's out here boondocking like we are? What would he have done? I think you have to have a basic knowledge of your equipment. I'm not saying to be able to break into a pump like I did, but recognize, okay, the pump isn't working. What are some of the issues that could occur? Is it an electrical issue? Is it a mechanical issue? What is going on? My first idea was, well, I'll just go order a new pump real quick and replace it. And that would have been a real simple solution. Take the hoses off the old pump, put them on the new pump, take the wires off the old pump, put them on the new pump. It's been real easy. And I think anybody who's going to do this lifestyle, especially out here boondocking, may want to have an understanding of their equipment like that. But we've had several issues that have come up and that I've had to find solutions to. We had the jack stand, the thing that cranks up the front of the camper and lowers it down onto the hitch. It broke. And I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I didn't have any tools to work with. And, what am I going to do? Well, I went out and bought a new jack stand. And sure enough, the holes didn't line up. So what I decided to do, because I understood my equipment enough, was I decided to just go ahead and brace this new jack stand kind of in a wedge and crank it up, crank it down, until I could get to a spot where I had some tools. It was a temporary solution. Now it's permanently fixed. But had I not understood my equipment, I may have had to call someone out and get it fixed. And that's the other thing, is if you don't understand how to fix something, you got to have an emergency fund so you can call a handyman. You don't want to get into a GoFundMe situation where every time you have a problem with your equipment, you're having to, get on Facebook and you have to spend your time at that location. I mean, I've heard van dwellers being stuck on the side of the road without any money. And their only option is to sit on the side of the road and get a GoFundMe account. And while the money's collecting in the GoFundMe account, they're sitting on the side of the road. So, no, you need to be able to call a handyman or a tow truck or a mechanic or somebody to get your problem resolved. But you know, I just don't like sugarcoating things, because there are people who believe that I should not make videos that tells them that they need to have a basic knowledge of their camper. They get very upset and say, well, they don't have any mechanical knowledge. Well, does that mean you can't learn? You can't learn your camper? You can't go around with an expert and say, okay, what does this do? What does it do if it goes out? How do I fix it? You know, I hear people all the time saying, my black water tank is clogged up. What do I do? I hear that all the time on Facebook. Well, if you're living in your travel trailer and you don't know how to resolve it, and your only solution is to get on Facebook, these are the things that you need to think about before you get out on your adventure. So you don't have to rely on Facebook, because Facebook can get kind of mean. So anyway, that's my opinion on you know, every problem does have a solution. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video. And happy travels.